Alright, hello, welcome back to our latest GM prep session. To start off with, I like to do the postmortem of the previous roleplay session. I did not expect to get another job in, just because of time constraints. I figured with the entanglement of the Sacred Flame, Stellar Flame, I'm still doing that, I'm going to keep doing it. The entanglement from the Stellar Flame, that was going to keep them busy for a while, and it did for a good bit, but it turns out everybody had a lot more time because of the night we did it on, which is great. So that was good. The job was for doing it completely off the cuff with no prep. I felt like it went well. That said, it followed the pattern from the last job where I wasn't using clocks for anything. And I feel like I'm doing that wrong. I feel like it's meant to be played with clocks. Maybe I shouldn't only have... I feel like I need to be using them more, because I'm not. I just went with what felt organic, and I felt like the way it played out, the ending we got was great. But they kind of lost the plot in the middle there. They couldn't decide what exactly they were trying to do. They couldn't figure out if they wanted to buy it, if they wanted to steal it, if they wanted to stealth it, if they wanted to go loud. They couldn't figure that out. And I don't know if I want to put my foot down and say, hey, you guys need to come up with a more coherent strategy and stick to it. Because the end result of that was actually really cool. Them getting the first mate to go along with them, that was pretty cool, because that could have gone real bad, and I liked that a lot. So, like, how would clocks have made that better, is I guess what I'm trying to think of. I should have maybe had a clock for suspicion, but, I mean, we got past the suspicion straight into the holding them at poison point. I was going to say gunpoint, but that's not really the case. Holding them hostage for the antidote. They got through that pretty quick. I'm wondering if there should have been a progress clock for get the device, get it back. But it worked organically. I'm struggling here because what I'm supposed to be doing is I'm supposed to be following the rulebook. And the rulebook suggests that you use clocks for these things. But, I don't know. I've been trying to do some research online and I can't find an article that says this is how you do a job and use the clocks for this and that. Like, everything I've found is more, here's the nodes you'd go through from this to that. And I think I'm going to keep going with my gut. I think I'm going to use clocks as a fallback when I don't have something that's sort of flowing organically the way that mission did. For all my lack of prep, I think it went off pretty well, and the guys enjoyed themselves playing it and had a lot of fun with it. And this is that classic imposter syndrome DM thing where, I feel like I'm doing a terrible job, and then I get text messages saying what a great session they had, and let's keep it up. So, I don't know. My own feeble insecurities and all that. So, that out of the way, I need to figure out what's going to go on next session. The big twist for next session is that Mike is not going to be available, so Chris's brother Alex is going to join us. I guess Lyndon's going to have the spirit tell him to go do something for a while, and he's going to bugger off and do that. And so they'll pull in some other contact. Alex has been given carte blanche to create any character he wants, any playbook, so I'm interested to see what he comes up with. Either way, I think it'll work itself out. We're still going to have to play through the payoff and entanglements, which is a little awkward bringing somebody in at that stage, because it feels like he should naturally enter after the mission follow-up stuff is done. He shouldn't be there for that stuff because that's what the people who were there for it did. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I'm going to see if there's a way to organically get him in as early as possible so he's not sitting on the sidelines for 30 minutes before he gets to introduce his character. Well, what I should probably do is I'll just start with character intro. Let's just start with that. And that way, we'll all have a good idea of where he fits into this. Okay. So Alex will introduce his character to start off with, and then we will cut to the payoff. I think it's going to be if they want to talk to... Oh shit, what's his name? Okay, here's a chance to go and update my faction ticker here. So... So that first job there, that puts them to +1. Their contact at the guild is... Well, eventually I'll know. Guild of Engineers, Thale Karat. Thale Karat. So I think Thale's gonna be happy with them. He's gonna pay him the 8 creds they're owed. But I think he's not gonna have another job lined up for them unless they insist. I want him to branch out a little, take jobs from, where they can get them. I was actually kind of impressed with how they worked their way in with the guild, because I just didn't expect that at all. Like I built in that idea of, oh, you can go talk to anybody you want, and assume that they go, okay, that's cool. Who's available for us to talk to, and then just let me feed them the missions that I come up with. But I'm really proud of them for branching out a little bit. But yeah, I was definitely taken aback. I was not prepared for that. And also, like, I thought I'd be able to stonewall them a little bit with the secretary, but frickin' Pax just straight up bribes the man, and it's like, well, you drop a cred, you get something in return. I could have made him roll for it, but he's dropping a cred with, like, no expectation of what he's going to get for it. Part of that is Chris is playing the unstable nature of Pax, which is great. He's doing a great job with that. Almost to the point where he's causing fights with the crew. But I think it's good that he's pushing on everybody a little bit, because that creates a lot of interesting drama. And I know, like, in some groups, you might be worried about a character acting like that because it might hurt some real-world feelings. But the guys we play with have pretty thick skin about that stuff and roll with the punches really well. I mean, they're used to, being a little adversarial with each other, like when we did The Sword, the Crown, and the Unspeakable Power. So they're accustomed to that, which is good. So Thale's happy. He pays the 8 creds. No other... It's work. Heat for the job. I should do heat for the job. I had notes here. Okay, so this is going to be +3 heat to Iota. It was a standard contained job, but they did kill a a well-connected target in Captain Vorn. I'd already forgotten his name. Past tense, my dudes. Past tense. Oh, and I should add another contact for them under the Maelstrom. Captain... I hate to write Karen. I mean, that was a joke, but... God, I'm stuck with it now. I can't allow those things to happen. Sort of you've got dirt on each other situation. Thick as thieves, these guys. And I should also mention that there's no blowback from the Maelstrom. Actually, you know what? No, I think it's still fine to say this is contained standard exposure because while Karen wants to keep things unlocked, she's still got a crew who are going to flap their gums. They're going to say who was there. They're going to say that their captain died. And that sort of generates gossip and heat all on its own. But this is to the IOTA system, so they had none there. Now they've got 3. I think this is probably my biggest gripe with Scum and Villainy as opposed to its progenitor Blades in the Darkness. Having only 1 heat track in Blades made like heat something that everybody's really got to be worried about, and results in people going to prison and stuff like that. Whereas, because Duskfall's it's a pressure cooker that nobody can escape from. Whereas, I mean, the Procyon sector is small and backwater, but it's still space. There's a lot of space. So it feels like there's a lot of room to just run from your troubles. So maybe that's a thought, is maybe I should start using heat as a consequence more frequently. I will try to do that if I remember. I will use heat as a complication and consequence when I can't think of something else. Because there were times where I really just... If there's a way to make it heat, I should make it heat. Because I kind of see the campaign lasting maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 jobs. Just because me and my boys have it hard with lots of kids, so actually even getting to do this consistently as we have been has been a real joy, and I don't know how much longer we can keep it up. So yeah, I'm going to try and push heat a little more. Let's see. Entanglements. Ah, jeez, I forgot my polygon, or my cube, my number generator. Alright, I got my math rock. Before I get to that, though, while I was thinking, should probably get +1 heat in Holt. Because of that whole grenade explosion at the dock. And, confrontation with an interesting person, etc., etc., etc. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, so, entanglement. On the wanted ship 1, ship trouble. Ah, jeez. Should have just had it open in the book, shouldn't I? Alright, I'm gonna play by the rules. I rolled a ship trouble. I'm going to do it on the engines. I want to kind of press them to maybe spend a little more time on their ship. The last downtime was rough for them. They had to basically spend almost all of their actions on trying to get through their stress, except for Pax, who got a trauma, which was interesting. But, I mean, really, the trauma just lets Chris play the character more like he intended to and have, like, a more mechanical excuse for why he's such a flighty bastard. But that's fine. But yeah, I want them to do a little more on the ship. So I will do 1 damage. Jeez. Bad words are hard, guys. Alright, so that's... Entanglement's taken care of. Then we'll do downtime. We'll try to get through it quickly. I'm wondering if I should give Alex's character a downtime, just like 1 downtime action, on the assumption that he, joined the crew somewhere in there. Mostly just to involve him in the process, because I don't know if we'd get all the way to downtime again. The full cycle seems to take us a while, and I think that's another problem with the way I'm running this. Is I'm too fucking slow. I'd rather let things play out, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm used to operating on a more constrained time frame, having maybe 2 hours for a session, which I know a lot of folks do, much longer sessions than that. That's why I hear about, oh, you can do Blades in the Dark. You can get 2-3 jobs sometimes in one play session. It's like, really? Maybe I'm spending too much time on the jobs, and my characters are doing too much role play on their free play time, but... Honestly, they're having fun, and the pacing doesn't seem too far off, and they like the jobs they've done so far. The one that I feel like was a real bust was the first one that I fully did with the prison break, because that ended up being a lot of the same roles over and over again, and I felt like they were focusing a lot on here I am talking about fucking clocks again, but they were focusing a lot on the clocks and the progress they were making there, so maybe that's an argument in favor of not using clocks. My boys are pretty good with working with the fiction. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on this. But at the end of the day, they're having fun. So I gotta figure out some stuff that they might come across. Say, Fail has nothing right away for them. So I'm just going to copy-paste the 2 jobs I had prepared from last time. And let's see. So I'm wondering if Matt's character Emmett has a long-term project. I'm going right back to downtime here. So, is there a long-term project for Emmett? I know Matt's had difficulty being really engaged with this so far. He's got other stuff going on, and I'm not going to push him on that one. But I do want to give him the option to have something to work towards. I kind of want to put him a little more center stage. Yeah, I just got to keep working on this. I just want to make sure he's involved and having fun. So I think suggesting that he do a long-term project, but I don't know what he'd want to do. Because, like, if it's, oh, I want to improve my cooking supplies or something, well, okay, that's just indulge your vice. Like, we're not going to mechanically upgrade your ability to indulge your vice. That's not how it works. Like, so you need to be like building something else to get some other mechanical advantage somewhere else. Everybody's been using the training when they have the option for the downtime actions. I think just because that provides such a clear and immediate payoff. So yeah. I am interested in Tyrion's long-term project, seeing how that goes, because I think if it pays off, if Governor Malekith becomes a personal contact for him, that could be a new vector for different jobs. Like, Malekith would send them out on artifact heists and whatnot. And I feel like that could be a really fun angle, especially if they find out they accidentally stole something from the Cult of the Seekers, who are their buddies. That could lead to some fun scenarios where, maybe Malekith has them steal something and then the Seekers have them try to steal it back. That could be a really fun opportunity for them to play those factions against each other if that's what they want, or just to pick a side. I just want to make sure they have all the options to do whatever they want to do, because I want to see them flourish, as every games master does. I think I want to have one more job idea in the bank. So, so the Maelstrom job is sort of out. Captain Vorn is gone. So what is Captain Vorn doing? Or what are the Maelstrom doing? What do they want? They want a thing. What do they want? What do they want? I think it definitely has to be something in the bounty hunt, personnel extraction thing. It can't be just another prison break. Or maybe it could. Like, it'd be really fun if they did a prison break where they get arrested in order to get in. And I feel like they might end up trying the same thing as last time, because that worked. No, I don't want to throw another prison break at them. Or, I mean, they can break somebody out of prison, but not something like official prison. Maybe, what are one of their enemies? They're enemies with another Draxler's Raiders, is that it? Yeah, Draxler's Raiders. They have an abandoned mining station in Iota Asteroid Belt. I'm gonna... A captured crew. I think this is a more dangerous job, so I'm going to up the numbers here. And I think their contact for it can be Karen. God, I regret that. Oh, I regret it. It's going to be a tough one. They will meet... Starhawk, I guess. As their opposition there. He is Captain Loyal, Vicious, Wary. So we'll just have them go straight onto their turf. I think that's what'll make it rough, is that they'll probably be at a disadvantage on the engagement roll. I wonder, now that I'm thinking about it, the engagement rolls seem to have a big effect on how the jobs played out. If I look back at the past two jobs, the artifact job, they started out in a desperate position and it was pretty nasty the whole time. They didn't stay desperate long. I let them improve to risky. So maybe I'm overthinking this. Like, obviously, a job's going to go rougher if you start in a desperate position as opposed to a controlled position. I think maybe my other mistake with the job from the last session was that that they stayed in a controlled position for too long. That should have been like an almost immediate consequence for a mixed success. Is, yeah, you got what you want, but now they're a little more wary. Like, that's the perfect mixed success consequence. Is, oh, you just dropped down one position. So I should have done that. But it's in the past. Draxler's Raiders. Let's see. Almost all the members of Draxler's Raiders are wanted for crimes. They're allied with the Janus Syndicate and the Lost Legion. Draxler's made a lot of waves since taking over the Raiders. The crew has slightly anarchist views. Yeah, so we'll do that. What complications do I want for this? I think I'm just gonna wing it. They're coming up against a new faction that they haven't dealt with before. I think that's going to be, and they're doing it on their turf. So, I think a lot of what they're going to come up against is traps and security systems. If they because they've done a lot of talking their way past people, and I want to challenge them with something a little different. So that's what they're primarily going to be competing against. Is like, there's a skeleton crew left behind because they're on a big raid. Maybe they can say, oh, we're going to establish surveillance and we're going to wait until a bunch of them leave and then we'll do what we do. So maybe. I wonder if I should, I'll let the game sort that out. That'll be fine. As for this Mendicant's option that I came up with, looking for a healer that's gone missing, detective work, a cred, or 6+ sacred solve. I like that idea. I think, actually, if I threw that out, the existence of such a thing, there's the sacred solve that you can use for fast healing, like, maybe that would be a good long-term project for Emmett, because he's sort of got a connection. Well, actually, I guess we haven't established that he's got a connection with him. I'm just going to assume that they do, that he does, because I'm going to ask, hey, Lenny, she works with them. Have you any kind of contact with them? What's that like? And I can describe them in advance. Yeah. So that'll work. If I think of anything else, I'll write it down. And if they try to take things off in another direction again, that's fine. I'll improvise, figure it out. I did alright last time. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, so I think I'm going to call this good.